What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video, and I'm back out in the forest, people. Little break, although the weather's not that great at the moment. Probably would have got better weather back at home, but it is what it is, a little break. But we're still here with an update video, and we're here to talk transfers. Big up to everyone tuning in. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Of course, I'm representing in the third kit. They're lucky I'm wearing this. I'm still vexed about Fulham, I can't lie, but you know, it is what it is. Let's make sure we beat Man United this weekend. Let's talk transfers. And do you know what? The window closes on Friday, and it's not very exciting at the moment. You know, I was really hoping that Arsenal might react, might do something, especially after the result against Fulham. I still think we're short, possibly in attack. You know, I still think there's no real cover for Saka. Still think we could have done with another midfielder, but it is what it is. Today's stories mainly are involving players going out of the club, and I've got to be honest, I'm not happy with these stories today. Now, a story today, people, linking Emile Smith-Rowe with a move to Chelsea, which, listen, I'm going to be totally honest, I will be absolutely furious if this deal happens. For me, this is a disgraceful possibility even. Chelsea want another wide player. I think they're being linked with Ferran Torres as well as Emile Smith-Rowe, but Smith-Rowe being linked with a move to Chelsea. Now, the amount of times we've signed washed up players from Chelsea at the back end of their career, and we're potentially willing to give them a player that, let's be honest, was classed as one of our best young players not so long ago, and for me should have been given opportunities this season. He had a very good pre-season, he won the Euros with England, and apparently Arsenal are willing to let him go at the right price. For me, this would be a shocker. This would be an absolute shocker. Like, he can play in that number 8 role, he can play in the 10 role, he can play left wing. He should be somebody that we're looking at building the future around. Saka, Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Saliba, Declan Rice, Odegaard, you know. These are the players we should be building around. We should not be doing Chelsea any favours whatsoever. So for me, if this deal was to happen, I would be very disappointed. Smith-Rowe being linked with Chelsea. There are rumours Arsenal would be willing to take around £40 million for him. I mean, 21 years of age, full England international, number 10 shirt, new contract last season. Are you fit, bruv? He is fit, bruv, and he still ain't getting game time. This, for me, I honestly would be very, very disappointed. You should not be selling good young English talent to Chelsea. He's one of our own. This would be horrible. Let me know in the comments, what do you make about Emile Smith-Rowe? Why the hell should we do Chelsea any favours? We just paid £65 million for a certain player who I'm not going to talk about. I think I've said enough. But Smith-Rowe to Chelsea, what are your thoughts, people? Let me know in the comments. Now, another player being linked with a move today, somebody we've been speaking about, is Gabriel. Gabriel being linked again with a move to Saudi. Now, a report has come out today from Dean Jones saying that Arsenal are frustrated with Gabriel. They feel that he has sort of, you know, he's been pushing for this move to Saudi. They feel that his head has been turned. He's been offered a huge contract, and he's the one who's instigating the possibility of the move to Saudi, not necessarily them approaching him. Now, two things that he said in this report. He said, number one, Gabriel was dropped because Arteta felt that his level had dropped, in particular over pre-season. We all know he made that big mistake against Manchester United, in the MetLife Stadium, where he just completely missed the ball. It was a shocker, to be fair. And they feel that he didn't justify his place in the team. What I will say with that, listen, we all know at times that Gabriel's got a slight mistake in him. There's no doubt about that. It's something he has to take out of his game. But I think we should have had a bit more loyalty to him based on what he'd done over a 38-game season. He was the only defender that played every game last season. You know, he was a soldier for us last year. And I think, listen, at times you've got to keep a player on his toes and drop him. But to leave him out for the first 3 games and then he gets offered a big money move, his head is going to be turned. He's thinking, well, I'm not in the team. I'm getting offered hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to go and play in Saudi. Of course his head's going to get turned. I think that's only natural, you know. If you're not happy in your job role and somebody offers you a big job on triple or quadruple your wages, you're going to think about it. So, listen, I'm concerned about what's going off this week in the transfer window. If we somehow lost Gabriel and lost Smith Rowe and lost Kieran Tierney and lost Balogun, you're talking about 4 very good young players, well, youngish players that should be part of the squad. I would ask the question, how have you still got El Neni? How have you still got Rob Holding? How have you still got Nketiah? Although Nketiah has done well in recent weeks. But how have you got players like that? Cedric still at the club. But we're talking about getting rid of Smith Rowe and Gabriel and Tierney and Balogun. Doesn't make sense. They need to sort their differences out with Gabriel. He should not be going anywhere. We need to keep him at the club. We need to be building around players like that. Hopefully nothing happens in this deal. A player that we're being linked with signing, and it is Danish defender Victor Nelsson. Victor who? It's another one that you're going to have to Google. It's another one you're going to have to go on YouTube for. I know very little about him. I've packed him a few times on FIFA. He plays over there for Galatasaray, 24 years of age, Danish international centre-back. They paid €7 million for him from FC Copenhagen, but they are willing to sell him. He has a £21 million release clause in his contract. Now, Arsenal apparently are interested in him. They want to bring another defender in. Is this a Gabriel replacement? Shouldn't be, I'll tell you that much. But Arsenal apparently interested in him, but don't feel he's worth the £21 million. They want to buy him for less than the release clause. They're in talks with Galatasaray at the moment. It's believed Arsenal want to pay around £16 million for him. They're not willing to pay the 21. He's 24 years of age. If he was that good, I'm pretty sure you would pay £21 million for him, which isn't a lot in this day and age. So that concerns me straight away if Arsenal aren't willing to pay it. But maybe they're trying to save money. If anybody knows much about Victor Nelsson, let me know in the comments. Would you take him? I honestly don't know enough about the guy to give a valid opinion. I've Googled him. I've watched some YouTube videos. But who knows? I remember when we signed Yaya Sonoga, I watched him on YouTube and he was scoring 25-yarders, and we all know how that postman played for us anyway. But anyway, let's move on from that. Another player that is being linked with a move away is Rob Holding. He's being linked with a move to Mallorca over there in Spain. Rob Holding, listen, he's training away from the first team at the moment. It looks as if his Arsenal career is coming to an end. I think he's reached a point now where, listen, we know he's not good enough, even as cover, Champions League and things like that. You can't carry players like that. So Rob Holding could be on his way. It could be a loan with an option to buy. So he could still find his way back to the club next summer. But Rob Holding looks as if he's on his way to Spain, people. And finally, final story before we get out of here. Nottingham Forest have reopened talks with Arsenal about signing Nuno Tavares. It's believed a week or two ago they were potentially willing to pay about £20 million for him. Now they're talking about getting him on loan with an option to buy. Makes no sense, but apparently Tavares rejected the move a couple of weeks ago. His options are obviously quite limited now. Maybe Forest looks a decent proposition for him now. And Arsenal looking to get him out on loan. At the moment, not the most positive week in the transfer window. Smith Rowe and Gabriel being linked with moves away. And no one really of high quality being linked with a move in. Surely we have to go back into the market. You know, Balogun hasn't been announced yet at Monaco, but £40 million is on its way in. We've already made over 45 million. Surely we go and get another player. But listen, big game this weekend. I will be back online towards the end of the week. Champions League draw on Thursday night. Transfer deadline closes on Friday. I'll be live a few times on Friday. Sure Sports News will be back. Let me know in the comments about anything we've spoken about. Gabriel and Smith Rowe being linked with moves. Victor Nelsson being linked with a move in. Let me know in the comments. Big up to everyone. And I'll see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.